Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of CarvedinJapan. Today I'm going to Japan Mobility Show, formerly known as Tokyo Motor Show. It's been changed for its now inclusion in the demand towards EVs or electronic vehicles and people with disabilities. It's a curious event, and I'm going to show you getting to the event itself, what's there, but also what's outside. There's too many people at this event, way too many people, but nonetheless, a really good event. You can start to see we have some rally vehicles outside, some Toyotas, Citroens, Lancias. Just look at how many people there are. And I had arrived at a time when it had already started, so there's more people inside. Insane. So after waiting for about 15 to 20 minutes, I began to make my way inside. As you can see, you're immediately greeted by the East and West halls. I made my way to the East halls. The East hall has the major manufacturers, both domestically here in Japan, but also the international manufacturers, such as BMW and Mercedes were also in the East halls. Initially, I was greeted by Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi were actually on both sides of the East halls, and there's a lot of Mitsubishi here at the mobility show. The first automaker I stumbled across was actually Daihatsu. The new Daihatsu Copen was on display. I think the position of Daihatsu is definitely telling, as in recent years they were acquired by Toyota, as you can perhaps see on a Japanese and international website that you can buy a GR Copen. It's very honourable of Toyota to help them keep the Daihatsu name, but yes, it's officially a Toyota now. and that was the first car of Japan Mobility Show for me. Two-door Daihatsu Copen convertible. Very, very nice car. Unsure at this moment if it's going to be an ICE or an EV or a hybrid. It probably will be an electric vehicle of some capacity, as we all know the rule for 2030, excuse me. After viewing the Copen, I came to Toyota. Toyota taking up the majority of the left side of the East Hall, starting with the IMVO, which is perhaps a industrial or commercial vehicle which is going to be used in the future. Most probably will be an EV or hybrid, and you can fully customize the back. So if you want it to be something you can see in the video, there is being used by paramedics or used to transport goods and services. It's definitely something for the future that looks very exciting and is topped off with very attractive looking wheels for something of that nature. Speaking of attractive, look at this two-door sports coupe. Very, very delicious in that sunburnt orange. I'm a bit undecided whether I'm on the hill of sports coupes that are electric. I firmly enjoy ICEs, so I'm still unsure about that, but yes, still very well done from Toyota nonetheless. At Mazda, they perhaps shown my most favorite vehicle of the event, which is the iconic SP. Now, this is probably one of the most attractive cars I've ever seen. It's so beautiful. It's a shame that it's probably just going to be an EV or a hybrid, because it looks like they've knocked on the door of Lotus and said, give me something two-door that's beautiful, and we'll call it a Mazda. Also, Mazda Sport and Mazda Club and just regular customers actually were given the opportunity to buy Spirit Racing memorabilia, including, as you can see now, gloves. I love that khaki green, the shoes, but you could also get the jacket. Now, I was really upset about this because I'm a big Toyota fan, and Toyota didn't have any memorabilia for sale, and neither did Subaru. Speaking of which, if you do want to see something absolutely out of this world, no pun intended, or all pun intended actually, please see the video on the screen now. But nonetheless, this Subaru Mobility Sports concept is very nice. I assume it will be a continuation from their BRZ, perhaps to go a different way from Toyota. A very quick and well-deserved shout out to Yokohama tires. If you can afford it, always get yourself some Yokohama tires. I hear the Neovas are quite nice, the ADR9s or AD09s, excuse my English. Now off to the other side of the East Hall, where we can see automakers such as BMW, Lexus, but more importantly Nissan. Now Nissan had something special for us. They had a 1300 horsepower, some are calling it the R36, some are calling it a GTR. It's just a Nissan at the end of the day, isn't it? It's never going to be an R34 or a 32. So whether you call it a 36 or just a GTR is your prerogative. But nonetheless, please enjoy what Nissan have to offer, followed by a montage from Honda. There wasn't enough Honda to give it its own glamorous entrance, so I've almost crammed it in with the Nissan Hyperforce, which you should be able to see on your screen now. But following this will be a very quick B-roll of the new and confirmed Honda Prelude. I think if I had been walking out in the day like this insect, I'd been tired too. Oh wait, I am tired. So, It's time for lunch. I had a vitamin C lemon shot, which you can see here, an egg yolk and meat onigiri or rice ball, which you can see here, and a white chocolate and dried fruit protein bar, which you can see there. It came to about 600 yen, which is £3 or $4 US, and was very delicious. After that, it was time to move to the south or to see some cars with real engines. Now, I'm not one of those people that say I'm always a fan of this or always a fan of that. I haven't always been a fan of Tomica up until maybe perhaps 2 or 3 years ago. I only really buy Tomicas that I like. So, for example, if I like an R32 Skyline, which I do, I buy a Tomica for it. Speaking of retro cars, I came across a magazine stand. Had all current magazines such as Option magazine. You can get other magazines for specialty cars, so Type-Rs, Nismo. There were some ones for Supras, and all of the original magazines in great and fantastic condition. Off to Lexus now, probably one of the last places I had seen inside the events, and they had showcased a small exhibition that they had held earlier in the year called Kuhai Forest, which is to showcase your sensors and how your sensors are important when you're in a Lexus. You can see some of the pictures from the art exhibition here, and these are to allow you to get a glimpse of how you feel, what you touch, what you see, and what you think, I guess, when you're in a Lexus. I personally drive a Toyota, which is a Lexus in the international world, but in Japan it's classed as a Toyota, and even though it's a little bit old, I still understand the concept they went for here, and it definitely applies to my vehicle. So overall, I'm very happy with the event. I thought it was a really good event. I probably should have gone another day because I was really tired, especially towards the end. But on the way home, I was greeted by even more rally cars, the same rally cars from the start of the event, but those that were leaving. So a Lancia Evolution, there was a Delta Integrale, and I believe a Celica GT4. Please do correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I don't claim to be a wizard or a captain to do with car knowledge, and always willing to learn and use this space as a way for any type of positive or informative or educational discourse. So please go ahead, name those cars in the comments. Nonetheless, I think they look fantastic. Just catching them leave the event here before we ourselves go back to our humble abode. And just like that, it's time to go home. So word of the day is omiyage souvenir. I got these souvenirs from Tokyo Big Sight, Kit Kat and Tokyo Banana, used to give to staff or friends or family, and I had it with a lovely cup of tea. Thank you.